Hello, my friends. You can tell I am outside of our classroom. This week, our story talks a lot about trees. So, one of the things that we'd like to do this week is to adopt a tree. Now, we would probably, if we were here, everybody would take one of these trees and see who's next to each other. But you get to adopt a tree that's at your home or around your neighborhood. Mrs. Gorospe will have to find one here. And let's see. Oh, this tree is really interesting. The leaves are a different color green. It's a lot shorter. Let's keep going, see. Which tree will Mrs. Gorospe adopt this week? I know last week or the week before we adopted a mess. This time we get to adopt a tree. And this one looks really nice. It's just a little thin all by itself here. I think this is Mrs. Gorospe's tree. Oh, can you hear that, my friends? I think birds love trees. It'd be really fun to find a tree with a nest. This tree might look very ordinary, but I am calling it the Mrs. Gorospe tree this week. Now, when I look at it, it is not very thick, but it is somewhat tall. Let me see if I can get there. All the way up. And it's nice because it covers our fence, gives us shade. I'm thinking about my tree because one of the things we want to do after we adopt our tree is to journal about it, to write about the things that make our tree special. So I have a thin tree, a tall tree, a very leafy tree. This tree even has leaves on its trunk. Oh, and we will be talking about the parts of a tree too. So let's go ahead inside and start a journal about the tree that you've adopted. A little movie magic, and we're back in the classroom, my dear friends. On your Shobi, you will have a small journal page to talk about the tree that you adopted. Now, Mrs. Gorospe picked an ordinary tree so that you can also know you don't have to pick the tallest tree or the biggest tree. It can just be a tree that feels right for you. And it doesn't matter how tall or short or how wide, how big the branches are, if it has fruit or not. Those are all interesting things. But find a tree that speaks to you, that you like, not what you think is the best tree ever. So you have a part here where you can draw your tree. So Mrs. Gorospe's tree, the branches kind of grew up. So I'll go ahead and draw my tree branches. It was more tall than wide. And then there were even some leaves at the bottom there, I remember. But near the top, it still stayed really branchy. So if I had all my time, I would finish this one. But I'm just doing a rough sketch. A sketch is a quick drawing. And then later, when you have time, you go in and you add your beautiful colors and your details. On your writing lines, talk about your tree. Where is your tree? Or how big was your tree? Why did you choose your tree? Is your tree alive? How can you tell? Is your tree healthy? Did you notice anything special about it? Some of my sentences might be that my tree is tall. It's definitely taller than Mrs. Gorospe. My tree is tall. And we have a schwad ah there. My tree is tall. My tree is at school. I'm going to use one of my subject pronouns here, it, to talk about the tree. It is at school. Or for yours, it is in my backyard. Or it is in front of my house. It, whoops, sideways I there. It has a lot of leaves. Now I hear a name or vowel team. Leave. I need an E to glue on that V, and then our S, leaves. There we go. So you can fill in the lines, talk about your tree. You can even draw a map of where your tree is, because my tree right now is floating in space. So I'd probably draw the background there. And I did have a fence, so I would draw the wires of that fence. And that is where my tree is. Just quick drawing of my tree. All right, and think about your tree. What can we do to take care of it during this time? It's going to love all the sun we're getting this week. So start your tree journal with your page and adopt a tree to think about this week. Thanks, friends. I hope you have a good time.